When it comes to racetracks, most people take a sport bike that was built based on something from either the Superbike or Supersport race series. But with a crop of super naked bikes that have the power and technology of their fair brethren, we're seeing more super nakeds pop up at track days all over the country. Advertising and red invented by teens, it's easy to make the outright speed versus comfort or versatility argument in forums and comment sections, but exactly where are those lines? How much faster is a sport bike than a super naked? How much more comfortable is a super naked than a sport bike? At the end of the day, which one is the best fit? To find out, we took a 2017 Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory and 2017 Aprilia RS V4 RF to a track day at Northern California's Thunderhill Raceway Park, hosted by Bell Helmets for the launch of its revised race star to shake down the bikes back to back. It should be noted here that of all the Superbike super naked combinations of any brand, the two Aprilias are by far the most similar. We knew this going in, which is why this is part 1 of the test. Part 2 will be conducted with the Yamaha R1 and Yamaha FZ10, the pair we think are the furthest apart. While the Tuono and RS V4 are pretty similar, anyone who's spent much time on a racetrack will tell you that small differences can feel like big changes at high speed. The Tuono has a slightly larger engine, 1077cc versus 999.6cc, but it's tuned lower, has a taller and wider handlebar, and slightly lower foot peg position. Both have incredible electronics, with features like auto blip up and down shifts, traction and wheelie control, and sound like pure sex. I started the morning on the Tuono, with the idea that sitting more upright would be more comfortable as I got used to the track and reacquainted myself with brake markers while looking for any changes since we tested here during the summer. Once I got a little heat in the tires, I scrubbed them a bit before heading in to do the same on the RS V4. The RS V4 has always been one of the sport bikes I've felt the most comfortable on, but it felt much more serious and focused when I hopped directly off the Tuono. It placed more of my weight forward and onto my wrists, which slightly changed my body position in the turns while also adding stability for the straights and heavy braking sections. But back on the Tuono, I felt nimble and easy, better able to keep my weight supported in my legs and core, which left me light on the bars. Moving around on the bike is much easier, which is helpful at a track like Thunderhill, which has so many long lefts that it can be easy to burn out half your body. The more upright position helped stave this off, while making the entire experience feel a little less serious. I did notice that passing was easier on the RS V4, especially when I needed to really get on the gas or brakes. I tried to make a few passes on the front straight against other super bikes like a BMW S1000RR or Yamaha R1 that didn't quite stick on the Tuono, but I had more luck on the RS V4. At the end of the day, it was time to get out the lap timer and see what the difference was in speed. On the RS V4 my average laps were somewhere around 210, and my fastest lap was 207.22. On the Tuono, my average times were actually lower at 209, but my fastest lap was a hair slower at 207.81. Disclaimer: all of these times are in normal track day conditions with multiple levels of riders. The numbers were actually pretty puzzling because I felt like I was going faster on the RS V4 as it felt slightly more composed. I noticed I was reaching slightly higher speeds down the straight, normally between 155 and 161 miles per hour, whereas those dropped slightly on the Tuono to 149 to 154 miles per hour. But I definitely felt more confident on the Tuono, which likely led to better and faster transitions and more corner speed. On the second day, Moto America racer Josh Herron came to the event and things got decidedly sillier. Riding with Josh is part educational and part like getting the best seat to a stunt show, and I found myself gravitating toward the Tuono more and more to get that commanding and comfortable riding position, and also so I could better keep an eye on the squirrely little guy. Personal preference plays a huge role in which way riders will lean, but with two bikes that perform so well and so evenly, it really is up to which flavor tastes the best. It will be interesting to see how the lap times and riding impressions shake out once we get on the Yamahas, as the R1 has an even more race bike-like riding position and the FZ10 a far more relaxed riding position and mellow motor. Drew Ruiz, the world's greatest photographer, I may be biased, came along and took too many great photos. Here's a photo set from the experience.